Welcome to the Existential Empath Podcast. My name is Tanya, and I am an intuitive empath. My intention is to share valuable tips, tools, and techniques that I have learned so you can tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively. Hey everyone, I wanted to jump on here and do a quick update and announcement. You have probably been seeing some of my EFT tapping online group sessions being posted on my YouTube account. For those of you listening on podcasts, this is the first announcement that I've actually made about these particular sessions that I'm offering. So I am being strongly guided to offer more group setting sessions rather than just one-on-one sessions. And so EFT tapping is something that I learned many years ago, and it has helped me out in a variety of ways. And I want to be able to share this very simple, very built-in technique that each and every one of us should have in our toolbox. And this is something that we should teach ourselves as well as teach our children and our parents and everyone around us, because it absolutely is one of the most useful tools besides muscle testing that I have in my toolbox that I will pull out from time to time. And so I am offering on the Sundays in September, as part of my self-care Sunday series, different types of EFT tapping group sessions. Now, what I'm going to be offering in these sessions is 1 hour of learning what EFT tapping is, learning how to EFT tap, and then we will be moving through, or I will guide you through an EFT tapping session, depending on what the topic is that you have signed up for. So in September, I have relieving anxiety and stress. I have attracting true love, and I also have attracting abundance and prosperity. I am going to be working on providing one for overcoming obsessive compulsive disorder, as well as coping with grief and loss. Those are two areas that I have really highly used EFT tapping for, and I know that they would be of benefit to others. And so I wanted to kind of just share a story of mine where I used EFT tapping, and had I not had this tool in my toolbox, I would not have known what to do. And so this probably happened, gosh, 3 years ago, because it was during COVID. When this happened, I think it was in 2020 when all of this went down. And I had gotten COVID and I was moving through it, but it just wouldn't move from my chest, and I couldn't seem to kick it. And so I was talking to a friend, and she had told me that she had gone and done some oxygen therapy. And I thought, well, why don't I try that? So there was a wellness center here that was providing oxygen therapy through a hyperbaric chamber, very similar to what you would use when I worked in the hospitals on the coast. For people who would scuba dive and then they'd come up too fast, they would get what's called the bends, and they would be put in a hyperbaric chamber. This is very similar. So a lot of these wellness centers will have these chambers, and it's kind of like a big capsule that you get into, and then they fill it up, and then you kind of hang out in there. So my friend had painted this very beautiful picture for me that I would get into this capsule, and then I would feel peaceful and I would fall asleep. And I thought, well, wow, that sounds wonderful. And she had mentioned that her husband had gone into this hyperbaric chamber several times and came out feeling amazing, and that he was able to take deep breaths, because we know when we had COVID, most of us couldn't take a deep breath, right? And so I thought, well, I'm going to sign up for this and see how it works for me. So I sign up and I get there the day of, and they show me the chamber. Now I'm 5'11", so this thing was way bigger than me. It was something that even my friend's husband, I think he was 6'5", and he was able to move around in it comfortably. So it wasn't like a coffin or anything. It wasn't like super tight, but I, was kind of a little hesitant to get in there to begin with. I mean, there's a little area where they zip it open, and then you climb in there. And then once you're in there, they close it up, and then they have to add the oxygen to it. They kind of blow it up, and that takes a minute or two before you actually are in the session. So I get in there, and they had mentioned to me, you can take your phone in there if you want to listen to music. Well, I opted not to take my phone because I kind of wanted a little respite from my phone. In hindsight, I wish I had my phone in there, but once I got in there and it was about a minute or two, they started to add the oxygen. And that's when there was a little window there by my head, just a little window where I could see out of. The man who was doing it said, okay, you'll be in there for 1 hour, so relax. Well, the moment he said you're in there for 1 hour, my fight, flight, or freeze response went crazy. All I wanted was to be out of that capsule. I felt trapped. I felt scared. And then I could feel the oxygen coming in, and it was like amplifying me. It was making it even more palpable that I had anxiety of being confined in this space. And so I was trying to talk myself down. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to be in here for an hour. All these things are running through my head. What if I have to pee? Oh, heaven forbid. What if I poop in here? All these things are freaking out. What if I have a coughing fit and I need water? Because, with COVID, we were all coughing. So all these things are running rampant through my head. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I've only been in here for 30 seconds and I am freaking out. So I start to take deep breaths and I try to close my eyes and I'm trying to relax, but every ounce of me wants out of that thing. Everything wanted out. I wanted to feel freedom. I wanted to feel safe. And I know I was safe. I know everything was fine. I just felt very confined in this space. And with the oxygen coming in, I think it was pushing energy out of me, like a pressure cooker. So I got to a point where I finally got myself settled a little bit. And when you do EFT tapping, you're going to ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where am I at right now? I'm telling you, I was on 100. I was on 100. I was so amped up. Well, I immediately said, all right, I'm going to start tapping. This is all I can do. I don't have a phone to put music on. I don't have anyone to talk to. I don't know what else to do. Well, I had the skills and the ability to tap. So literally that's all I did. I just started tapping and breathing and tapping and breathing. And within about 15 minutes, I went from that 100 to, I'd say, about a 3. I had gotten down that far and I just kept tapping and tapping and tapping. And I don't even remember when I stopped tapping because I ended up falling asleep at some point. I had gotten my energy to a point where it was at 0, the anxiety was at 0 and I passed out. And all I remember is him unzipping the chamber and saying, okay, it's time for you to come out. And at that point, I was actually relaxed in there. I felt really good. I could breathe. I was taking, big, deep breaths, but I had shared with him, I had a panic attack in there. I didn't know what to do. And I've had these attacks in the past. I have had them on a plane. I've had them clearly in this hyperbaric chamber. And they come, for those of you who suffer with panic attacks, that they come randomly, right? Like you're just kind of going about your day and then you start to have this attack. Now, EFT tapping is something that is amazing for panic attacks. It's something that you can do in the moment because what it's doing is it's moving energy throughout your body. It's actually bringing together the right and left hemispheres of the brain, and it's allowing you to move that energy out, whether that's fear, anxiety, stress, whatever it may be. And so, learning this technique, learning this skill is absolutely a wonderful tool to have. So whether it's for you learning it, for your children learning it, for your parents learning it, I've even taught my parents how to do it and they're in their 70s. And these are things that we can do in the moment. So if you're on a plane and there's turbulence and you're freaking out, it's like, okay, let me just tap through this. And it really will ease you. It'll bring you into that state of calmness that you might not be in, before you start tapping. So I am offering these sessions for 1 hour and it'll be $35 US dollars per person. And that's an extremely reasonable price considering a lot of practitioners will charge you well over, some of them $300 for a session. And these are things that I've been doing in my one-on-one sessions, but I am, like I said, being guided to provide these in a group setting because for those of you that understand energy, you understand that when we work as in a group, the energy is much more amplified and it's a lot stronger. So when we are tapping through certain stagnant energy within our body and we're doing it as a group, it just makes it even stronger. I'm really excited for some of the abundance and prosperity sessions because I know I can really speak things into existence for others. And I'm working on doing that for myself. But I know that when we get together as a group and start really tapping on abundance and prosperity, releasing some of those old programs that no longer serve us and then reintroducing some new programs in there, I'm really excited to see what takes place in those sessions. And, personally, I struggled with obsessive compulsive disorder for, gosh, since my childhood. I saw my grandmother doing it, and then I saw my mom doing it, and then me and my sister both had it really bad, and it would amp up around times of high stress in my life. Well, EFT tapping has been very instrumental in me overcoming my obsessive compulsive behaviors, specifically around germs and cleaning and those types of things that I really struggled with terribly for many, many years. And so if this resonates with you, then sign up. There's nothing you can to lose, right? So it's it's going to be on Zoom, and it's going to be a group. Now, say you don't want your face to be seen on there, you can just stop the video on there, so that way we don't have to see your face if you don't want to show yourself in the group. It really is very individual, but you can also sign up as if you have a corporation or something, you have a team and you all want to learn EFT tapping together, then you can each individually sign up and be a part of the group as well. So this space will hold up to 100 people within a group session. And I think the more that we get in there, the more powerful it's going to be. So I'm really excited to offer this series for anybody. You could even have children on there too, because it's going to be clean. I promise it'll be clean. So, you can have your kiddos on there with you as well. And I am going to be offering whichever tapping session you sign up for. I will be offering that EFT tapping script for half off after you sign up for the session. So that way, if you want to work on that particular tapping template on your own, or you want to share it with others, then you're free to do that. And oftentimes I hear from people like, I know the tapping points, I understand where I'm supposed to tap, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say. And so that's why I decided to create these templates for those of you out there to use literally as a template. You can go through it and use the statements that I have on there, or you can change them up to a statement that better suits you. But it's really just something that gives you some guidance on where to go. And so I hope that that's really helpful for some of you out there. Now, all of this is listed on my website, theexistentialempath.com. I'll leave it in the description below, so that way it's easy to find. And another announcement I wanted to make is that I do have an online store now, and I have a really funny story to share. So I created a shirt that says, "I'm an empath, I feel ya." And I've been wearing it around town. I'm telling you, I have been meeting my soul family. It's really funny because when I wear that shirt, people are like, me too, me too. And it sparks a conversation. And so I have been meeting all of these people just by wearing that shirt. And I have a variety of them on there, and I'll leave the links in the description below as well, so you can check those out. But it's really funny. If you want to meet your soul tribe, then wear a shirt that says something that you believe in. It's really funny how that takes place. I mean, I was in the line at the grocery store, and I had a gal come up to me and say, "Where did you get that shirt?" And I said, "Actually, it's mine. I created it." She goes, "I'm an empath too, and I don't know who else is an empath, and I don't really have an opportunity to meet other empaths." And so it kind of, I told her about my podcast, and she's like, "Oh, this is amazing." Because a lot of us as empaths, we hermit, right? We like to go within our shell. We like to stay away from others. We like to be a little introverted. In my younger years, I was probably 80% extroverted, 20% introverted, but I think that's flipped now. I'm definitely more introverted than I have been, in my younger years. And so I really love that quiet and alone time that I get to spend on my own. And then when I do get out and about, around other people, I have the energy to do that. And so it's kind of fun to be able to meet other empaths, and if it takes a t-shirt to do that, then hey, that's what works. And so I've met some really beautiful people just by wearing that t-shirt. And so I just wanted to share that with all of you, that I have some really neat things on my website. I also have a lot of different products on my website that I might highlight some of them that I use regularly, and that way you can kind of have an idea of how to utilize that. I've got several products on there to help activate your pineal gland, help clear out heavy metals in the body, parasites, those types of things. And so maybe I will start doing some shows on that just to give you a broader idea of the different products that are out there that are from the earth, that are natural, that maybe we aren't aware of, that I've been taking for years, but I guess I take it for granted because I don't really realize that a lot of people have never heard of things like shilajit and bentonite clay and zeolite, you know, all these different types of things that I have been kind of supplementing with over the years. And so check out my website for sure, theexistentialempath.com. I've got more than just sessions on there. Okay. So like I said, and I am moving towards maybe doing some courses as well. So if there are some ideas of some courses that you think you would be of interest in, please share them in the comments. I want to hear what types of things would interest you. Activating your light language maybe, or manifesting, enhancing your intuitive abilities, whatever it may be, share them below and I will take those in account. This whole year I've been doing this podcast. I've been doing 2 to 3 guests per week, and my whole intention has been to provide value to all of you listeners and watchers out there, and also providing value to myself, because I've been learning a lot over this past year, meeting all of these different people. And I really do feel that I have been making somewhat of a quantum network across the country with all of these guests and meeting all of these different people of like mind. And it's been very fun for me to do that and to meet those, but I am feeling a little bit guided to do some more solo shows. And you may not see my face though. I might be doing some more just audio, because when we can really tune into certain senses, then that's really when we can process the information. So you might see a little change up from me, over the next couple of months on how I present my shows. And I'd love to hear your feedback on that, because like I said, I'm kind of going by my intuition and what's guiding me. And right now, like I said, I'm being very guided to do some more group sessions, like connecting people in a quantum way. I've always called myself a quantum connector, and now I guess I'm living up to that. So I hope you are all doing really well and getting out into nature as much as possible. I know for me here in the Pacific Northwest, we are moving from summer into fall, and gosh, it feels amazing outside right now. I've been spending a lot more time outside. That it's not as blazing hot and not as freezing cold as it usually is. So I'm really looking forward to the change of season, and I am going to be taking a little bit of time off to enjoy that myself. And I hope each and every one of you are doing that too. So as always, I send you so much uplifting, positive, loving, healing energy. Take care. You deserve to navigate your life in alignment with health, happiness, and abundance. To learn more about the services that I provide, including Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis, EFT tapping, and the Emotion Code, visit my website at www.theexistentialempath.com.